topic would be skills for sustainable development, environment and green jobs. For this, can I call upon Dr. Arub Mishra, Chairman Assam State Pollution Control Board. And then can I call upon Shri Arpit Sharma, COO Skill Council for Green Jobs. Also may I call upon Mr. J.N. Khatanyar, Chairman CII IGBC North East Chapter. And our final panelist being Shri Utpal Barua, CAO Guwahati International Airport Limited. Request you all to please come on to the dais.
So, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. We are going to start this session on skills for sustainable development, environment, and green jobs. Okay? And before we really go ahead, I'd like to introduce the panelists out here. On my left here, we have Mr. Utpal Barua, who is the CEO of the Adani International Airport, Guwahati International Airport. Very important job right now because, as you know, Northeast, Assam, Guwahati, all are on the expansion mode. And every day you find that new airlines, more cargo movement, more passenger movement taking place. So in that context, like management of resources, energy, etc. becomes very important. So we have got Shri Arpit Sharma, who is the, to my right, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Skill Council for Green Jobs. It's a very important portfolio that he is holding because this is a council which is doing a lot of good work to prepare our young people for green jobs, taking more responsibility and making the world a better place to stay. Then we have on the extreme right to me, Mr. J.N. Khatanyar, very well-known person in Assam, basically a civil engineer. He is chairman CII IGBC Northeast Chapter. But besides that, he has a lot of, hats on his head. I have known him for a long time. I have known also Mr. Utpal Barua for a long time. Only Arpit Sharma I met today. And for your information, my name is Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra. Presently, I am the chairman of the Pollution Control Board of Assam. And it's a very tough job, I'm telling you. But basically, I'm a teacher of chemical engineering. I taught for a long time. And now today we are here to give you some ideas. And basically, this will be for our young students who are aspiring to do something in life. Okay, there are clearly two components here. One is sustainable development and the environment and green jobs. Okay, sustainable development, you have heard a lot about that, isn't it? You know what is sustainable development? A development which should take place without putting pressure on the environment. That's a very tough job because we were told in our school and college days that one has to pay a price for development. Whenever you want development, you have to pay a price for that. Somewhere, somehow, the environment, the ecology would be affected. But under these given circumstances today, we have to go for it because the whole world is moving towards it. You cannot have more than one planet, only one Earth is there for us. We have exceeded by 68% the carrying capacity already. We need 1.68 Earth to live the way we live today. Hence, certain sacrifices, certain balances, checks and balances have to be there. Okay? And in this respect, I will first introduce the panelist on my left, and I request Utpal Barua, because he is now sitting in a very tight spot, and we all keep an eye on the airport activities, how the things are taken care of, passenger movement, cargo movement, aircraft movement, pollution, sewage treatment plant, effluent treatment plant, everything is taken care of, being there. And I, being on the Pollution Control Board, we have to definitely keep a check on all these activities. From his perspective, what he thinks about upcoming jobs and what skills are required to really work in that sector. I'd like to hear from Mr. Utpal Borua.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all of you. So when you talk about airport, what does come to your mind? What could be the environment hazards? Probably you will first think of the sound, right? The sound of an aircraft is too high. I remember I was in Delhi airport, and when the new runway was commissioned, then the people residing in Vasant Kunj has put a court case that our sleep is getting harmed, and thereby 12 to 4 there was no movement in the new runway, right? But fortunately, aircraft manufacturing agency have taken adequate measures, and nowadays sound is not a very big pollution at airport. But at the same time, it is also true that without making any damage, it is actually impossible to run an airport. It may sound a little absurd, but it is true. There are, for example, let me tell you, there are hazardous material. Hazardous material is very important to be carried, right? We carry radioactive material, we carry different kind of hazardous material which is harmful to the nature. So how do we treat is very important, right, at the airport. So this is one of them. And then again, the e-waste. E-waste is one of the important hazard at the airport that needs to be taken care of for sustainable development. And if you more for battery, so battery waste is another important things to be taken care of. Similarly, used oil, used oil because of your diesel and all, it is used in extensive way. So after the oil is used, where you are going to dump? Even you will be surprised to know certain times aircraft need to detank whatever fuel they have to release it in the sky and then to land. You may not be knowing, for emergency landing sometimes it is required. So it is important that you earmark a place where that can be done. So it is very important. And radioactive material I have already said. So all these are altogether hazardous or environment threat at the airport, and that needs to be taken care of. So what we can do, probably every airport or civil aviation as a whole has an aim to reduce the carbon emission. So our aim is to do the carbon neutral achievement by 2024 within 2 years. And as a measure, what we are doing is we are replacing the fuel-operated vehicles by electrical vehicles. We have done only 4 in the last finance year, and doing that, we have reduced 40% use of diesel at airport. And since airport is a kind of a metropolitan city working different agencies, so we have taken a goal. By all the stakeholders, by 24, we will be replacing all the fuel-operated vehicles by electrical vehicle. And doing that, more than 95% diesel use can be restricted at the airport. But still, there are some challenges. Let me share in this forum. Can I do 100%? Probably not, because the fire tenders and all, which is operated at the airport, has different kind of requirement. For example, response time for that vehicle is 90 seconds. Means in the airport campus, if there is an accident, after disseminating the information within 90 seconds, the fire tender will reach and start its operation. So, is electric vehicle reliable for that? It is still under exploration. We do not know what the answer, what the result will come. Similarly, we have a different kind of vehicle called follow-me vehicle. Certain times aircraft lands and then it needs to be guided, right? So, can we use EV for follow-me vehicle? It is a big decision for the entire nation. So we are waiting for the decision. Once it is taken, then we will be doing accordingly. So that is why 100% replacement is so far not possible. Beyond that, let me share a few more. We have done it. Carbon emission, I have already said. Then also the solar. We already have 300 kilowatt solar power, and our aim is to do 800 kilowatt by next year. Similarly, the sewage treatment plant, we have only 100 KLD sewage treatment plant, and recycled water will be using for gardening, for horticulture. And also we are going to introduce a energy management system. Energy management system, you know, one of the skill, the subject of this discussion is what skill is required, right? One skill is that how you envisage what investment you are doing, what will be the time of ROI, right? Return of investment. Even for energy management and all, return of investment is 20 to 25% in 1 year. Similarly, AC replacement, the refrigerant R22 is getting replaced by R32. Just remember, airport is a huge installation, and so far we have changed 54 air conditioner by R32, which is environment friendly. Chiller plant pipeline, it was old, and we are replacing it with a new one. By doing that, ROI is 10%. Okay, but we are changing it. CFL light, airport used to use CFL lights, we are changing it by LED lights. Then water tap sensor, it is surprising, you know, that water, while washing hand and all, we excessively use it. We introduce sensor, and doing that, we are saving now 2 lakh rupees per month. Just think of, only by introducing sensors. And also fire extinguisher, it was earlier carbon dioxide basis, but now we are getting it replaced by ABC, such that carbon emission we can further reduce. Apart from that, in the new building, you know, in Lokpriya Gopinath Bordolo International Airport is going to have a bigger terminal. It is almost 5 times than the existing one. Existing one, the area we have about 20,000 square meter, and which is coming up will be having 1,18,000 square meter. And it is a green building, you know, it is we are going to get the LEED certification for it, that it is energy efficient, right? So these are the some of the initiative we have already taken. And about skill and all, we need to be aware. We need to have the knowledge about environment, science and climate change. We are grooming a group of people who will be helping us in this regard. And those are the initiatives taken up. We have taken the airport just 1 year back, but in this 1 year, so these are some of the initiatives we are doing it. Yeah, and you people, there are a lot of students here. Probably whatever we are doing, whatever you are thinking, to give you a better world to you people sitting here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Borua. So you got some idea. My idea was to start with him because airport is now becoming increasingly very important means of communication for all of us. Place where earlier it was said that only the rich people go to the airport. No longer so. You know, even the common man is going to the airport because their affordability has increased and your work has increased. Indian people as a whole earning more than they used to earn earlier. Our per capita income has gone up. So development process is taking place. You have to accept that. Now, in this process of whatever he has said, you can find out in multiple ways you can always save. You know, when I used to earlier go, when I was teaching in engineering college, all the schools in Guwahati, sometimes they used to call me for their annual day function, something like that. So there, children were telling us, sir, climate change, global warming, these are very big issues. What we children can do for it? I said, a lot of things you can do. You have a computer at home? Yes, sir. Do you switch off the computer? Yes, sir. Do you switch off the mains in the wall, which is there, a socket is there, that one? No, sir. Then what remains in the whole day? one small light blinking. One small light is blinking means the connection is on. You don't switch it off. No, sir. We switch off the computer only, the PC only, not the wall socket switch. I said, do you know, by doing that, if you had switched off that, milliampere current is going every day maybe, but that current is enough, power is enough to run a coffee machine or tea vending machine. It has been tested by laboratory in IITs that 5,000 cups of coffee or 5,000 cups of tea could be processed, made out of that power which you save from one PC by switching off the mains also. Then sometimes we have seen that many children, including my own son, he will take the toothbrush and the paste. The tap is open for some time. He is brushing, the tap is open. I said, beta, in these 2-3 minutes of time, when you soak your brush and paste, and then you finally finish and go for washing the mouth, in this time also, whatever water goes, do you know the cost of making that water? In Assam, though, we are very happy and lucky ki, hey, we have got the river Brahmaputra and Barak, 2 big systems, 124 small rivers, this and that, you know. So, our pani ki homoisya ase, no homoisya. We don't have any problem with water. Abundant water is there. It's not that. To make water, to take water intake and bring it for processing and giving back to you, entire process is very expensive. So water is no longer free. Air, you thought it is free. No, it is not free. 1 hour of any oxygen chamber you go there, it costs you 200 rupees. Now, next business will come in that area. People are looking for business, new business. One business in India will thrive very well, give you pure oxygen in some chamber. You go inside the chamber, take oxygen for half an hour, 1 hour, pay the money and come out. That days are not far away. So I'm telling you, future is in your hands, and therefore, lots of opportunities are there. When Borua was speaking, he spoke about also one concept called green building. What is a green building? In the daytime, you don't put on the lights to work. The solar passive building. Enough light is there inside the building to work. One concept, only one part of the whole story. There are many other things. How much you can go for reducing the HVAC. HVAC means heating, ventilation, air conditioning. In engineering we say HVAC, HVAC. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning. How can you reduce that, HVAC? So all these things are there. Now one gentleman who has done a lot of work in Guwahati, which I've seen myself, he's an architect, he's a civil engineer, Mr. J.N. Khatonier. He will give you some glimpse ideas about what is a green building and what do you need to become a green builder or a designer. I'm telling you, look beyond the normal professions, dear children. Don't go for only typical mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, or some medical line, or some MBA, etc. You know, world is becoming very tough, and world needs a lot of professions, a lot of people like you. Therefore, I would invite Mr. Khatonier to throw some light on the green buildings.
Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to introduce myself in brief. I am civil engineer of 1977 batch from Assam Engineering College. I am working as consultant engineer since 1997. I am also working as senior technical advisor to GMDA since January 2021. In the month of April, regarding this subject, I just want to inform you, in the month of April 2022, IGBC, means Indian Green Building Council Hyderabad, has given me a challenging responsibility to be the chairperson of the Northeast chapter, which includes 7 sister states of entire Northeast, including Sikkim, under the IGBC Hyderabad. This prestigious Northeast chapter is being scheduled to be launching officially with a one-day program on 8 April 2023 at Guwahati by inviting all the concerns of the 8 states of the Northeast. I am in touch with IGBC Hyderabad since the year 2004 as a professional or practicing civil engineer. Today's discussion on skills for sustainable development plus environment and green job is a very important subject to be addressed very carefully to achieve our goals, to make our earth surface more green and environment friendly. We all know that the trees forming a green cover over the earth surface can live without us, but we cannot live without trees. It is very important. Trees can live without us, but we cannot live without trees. So we have to protect the green cover on the earth surface by avoiding too much distractions in the name of modernization, in the name of developmental activities, and in the name of high growth of population. We have to concentrate on the skills. Today's subject is skills, to create more and more green cover in a very scientific manner for making the environment more and more healthy. So it should be our goal. Lots of adverse impacts we are being experiencing all over the globe since so many years, like global warming, abnormal climate change we are experiencing every day, deteriorating air quality, it happens, particularly in Guwahati too much, and cloudbursts, etc., affecting the human lives on the earth surface without much control from our side. It is not yet, we have done not yet too much to control these things as a human being, and now it is the need of the hours. Moreover, another important thing is, as a civil engineer, my concern is, moreover, the entire northeastern part of our country is growing very fast, but unfortunately, we are living over a very high seismic sensitive region of our country, and one of the 6 very high seismic sensitive regions on the globe. So it is very important. Before making everything green, environment friendly, first of all, we have to alive. We have to build safe structure, earthquake resistant structure. And I am taking, as a chairman of this region, this should be the priority. And this should be, again, on a part of the green concept. We therefore have to study all the issues very carefully by considering the geotechnical problems for the high seismicity of this northeast region, by sharing our knowledge related with the skills for sustainable development and environment and green jobs to this subject. After creation of IGBC Northeast chapter in the month of April 2023, these geotechnical issues will have to be given top priorities for safe and green development. That will be our main objective, particularly for the Northeast chapter, to be launched in the second week of April 2023. We have to concentrate first for making our region more and more safe without much destruction due to sudden earthquakes, and to make healthier by application of the right green building concepts and technology. That should be only green, avoiding earthquake possibilities, this earthquake resistance miseries, earthquake resistance structure. First of all, we have to survive here. Then everything is possible for us. So this is my belief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Khatonia, for throwing some light on the concept of green building. As I told you, dear friends, that especially the children who are out here, green building concept has been there for quite some time now. Earlier it was not appreciated by people. India could show only 10 or 15 buildings in the whole country, like Delhi, and some buildings like that, Habitat Center in Pune, Bangalore. They used to show some buildings like a hallmark of the nation. Now, people are coming in a large number to really take this whole concept forward, I told you, green building is not just about like painting the building green. It's also about like how best you can work without too much of air conditioning, too much of ventilation, too much of light without artificial lighting. You go to any office nowadays, you will find mostly, in daytime also sometimes people have to work on lights. They have to switch on the light. Not a very good thing. The sun, our creator, source of energy for the whole universe, has given us so much of energy, so much. We are all living in this earth because of only the sun. And this sun has given us everything, but we have not given cognizance to that in many places. And we just, without thinking, we build a building, but don't care for that. So even cooling, I have seen buildings in some other countries, in Europe, they don't have air conditioners in the offices. Entire wall, outside wall is there having the supplantation. Creepers, which automatically give a cooling effect. If you go to Utpal Barua's place from Adani Airport in Guwahati and come to the city, you will find a gradient of 3 to 4 degrees Celsius every day. So, airport temperature, other places outside the city limits temperature, and the city temperature is different. Why? Because we have something called heat islands. The heat is trapped in the city amongst the concrete jungle. It can't go out, and finally you get trapped here. Now, if you ask me, in a pollution control board, what am I looking at? I'm looking at people who can give me results. I've got something like 236 stations where in the whole state we go for water monitoring. We take the quality of water, we report. That is how we say that we have got 44 problematic stretch of river in the state now, today. Out of that, 9 are very problematic, right? You know Borolu River, Borolumuk is highly problematic. Bhogdo in Jorhat is problematic. Kopili in Kolong River in Nagaon is problematic. So these are highly polluted. Besides that, out of all these rivers I have told you earlier, 44 are very problematic. So I am looking at people who can give me very good, reliable results with the instruments and the equipment available in our central laboratory. We have also set up laboratory in Silchar, in Sibsagar, in Tezpur and Bongaigaon. Besides the central laboratory in Bamonivinam, Guwahati, we have got 4 laboratories. That is regarding water pollution. Then we talk about air pollution. Only few months back, wherever we are sitting right now, behind this, few hundred meters away, the then director Sitaram and myself, Director Guwahati IIT Sitaram and myself, we inaugurated the CAAQMS, Continuous Ambient Air Quality Monitoring Station. About 12 parameters, 24/7, it is being given there without any manipulation or maneuver. You cannot play with those instruments. They are so nice sensors. So I need people for that. Then noise meters. During festivals, during all these, different type puja, bihu, etc., people suffer a lot. Especially people with hypertension, other diseases. They have sleep problem. This is the way he started his presentation. You see, he said that in Delhi airport there was a no fly time. 4 hours there was no fly time because people in Vasant Kunj area in Delhi complained about the noise pollution, that boom boom sound of the aircraft. Now suddenly things changed. All manufacturing companies, Boeing, etc., they have gone for noiseless aircraft and things are improving a lot. So if you ask me, if you ask him, our all priorities are different. Our interest area, our priorities are different. Only common thing is that, yes, we are looking for a better planet, a more livable planet. And as I told you earlier, you can't have 1.68 times the Earth right now, which you need. In today's lifestyle, you need 1.68 times the Earth, which is impossible. Therefore, that 0.68 extra, we have to cut down somewhere. We have to sacrifice, we have to compromise, and we have to commit for all these things, right? Now, the last speaker in this session, Arpit Sharma is here. He is from the Skill Development Council, and therefore, not going into any specific area of chemistry, physics, biology, zoology, botany, mathematics or engineering, etc., he will tell you what they are doing and what can be done to make the environment clean, ecology healthy, and climate change mitigation can be achieved. So I'm passing on to Arpit Sharma. Last, but as I said, not the least, the most important speaker out here, so far as we are concerned, without any sector-specific bias, he will speak to you about what the future looks like for green jobs.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon members on the dais and a very special audience out here, which is the students. So perhaps I want to speak my heart to you today. It is so far one of the most challenging sessions for me because today I'm not talking to the government people, I'm not talking to the industry, I'm talking to students, school children or college going graduates. So I will try to kind of do justice to my 5-minute talk so that you do have a takeaway from today 5-minute session of mine. Okay, so I'm from Skill Council for Green Jobs. Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has many sector skill councils under them, multiple, more than 35, close to 40. We are one of them. And Green Sector Skill Council, in which I am the Chief Operating Officer, COO, is basically a council which has multiple verticals. So one of the verticals is renewable energy. Any one of you understands renewable energy? Solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, bioenergy, biomass. So this is one of the verticals. Then we have environment, forest and climate change, which is waste management, solid waste management, wastewater management. You see a lot of wastewater flowing down the drains, industrial waste. That water needs to be, that polluted water needs to be treated. Okay. So wastewater management is again one of the major areas that we cover. And the third area that we cover is the green transportation and green constructions. And now a very new area that has been added to our portfolio is green hydrogen, which is called the fuel of the future. You would be I think most of you are science students or all technical students. Perfect. So green hydrogen is the buzzword of the world now. It is supposed to be the fuel of the future. So what we do as a sector skill council is we empanel various training institutions across the country, and they impart the training on the curriculums that we create, the books that we create, the syllabus that we create, and finally, after these short-term trainings are being done, assessment and certification of the students is being carried out. And finally, a certificate is given to the candidate. Ideally, after he does all the skills training, he's supposed to be, employable. Okay. Now, why should anyone come to our sector, do a skills training in solar energy, for example, or in wind energy, or in green hydrogen? Why? I'll give you maybe a 30 seconds background. Recently in COP26, which was held in Glasgow, Scotland, COP is Conference of Parties. Okay, and India is one of the countries which is part of COP. So India gave huge commitments, humongous commitments at an international forum. India said that India will meet its non-fossil fuel capacity to 500 gigawatts by 2030. 500 gigawatts is huge. India will meet its 50% of the electricity demands through renewable energy sources. In renewable energy, we have solar, hydro, wind, bio, as I told you. India would achieve net zero by 2070. Now, net zero doesn't mean that India won't pollute. Whatever we emit, carbon we emit in the atmosphere, we would also absorb. So we would be net zero by 2070. And one of the commitments, very important commitments that India said, that India would reduce its carbon emissions by 1 billion tons. 1 billion tons of carbon emission reduction is a very, very challenging kind of a thing. So that's why there is a lot of thrust on environment, there is a lot of thrust on courses which are related to green energy and environment. And because India as a country has taken up this challenge, and we have to be at par with the developed nations by 2030. So there are a lot of jobs available in the renewable energy sector. All of you can do vocational skills programs in the green sector along with your your main studies, because now because now as per the new education policy also, vocational skills have to be there in the main education. And I would also like to tell you that you people are still school college going children and technical people. Recently, just on previous Saturday, we as a sector skill council, we signed an MOU with one of the German companies when the German chancellor had come to India. In his presence, we had signed an MOU with BSW Solar Germany, and we would soon be sending people from India to Germany. The solar technicians, they would be taken to Germany for 2 years, they would be given stipend, they would be doing installations there, and finally, if everything goes well, they could also settle down there. So this is the kind of global demand which lies in the green energy sector, and I would urge you to start studying something on this and do your skills training. Thank you.
Thank you, Arpit. Now, before we wind up, we have just a few minutes left. Last comment from Utpal, because as I told you, he heads one of the most important establishment here. And what skills are required for sustainability? You may ask very briefly, what skills are required for sustainability? So, Utpal Barua, please.
I was thinking that I am already aware of and I am doing whatever is required to be done. But for sustainable development and environment, yeah, isn't a particular set of skill required? So that was my question. And when I went through a kind of literature, and I found a few very interesting skills. Just I'll go through it. One is the fundamental knowledge. The person who initiates, it's the prerequisites. He must know what is around, okay, what is the environmental science, what is climate change, and what is the impact of the industry to the society. It's very important to know. Then strong leadership, it's a top-down approach. Otherwise, if I say that I need a particular fund for rolling out a few initiatives, my boss will say, why do you want it? ठीक तो चल रहा है, चलने दो, correct? So that attitude will not do. So one of the important is the strong leadership. Then an ability to identify strategic opportunities is very important. Recently, there was a course I have gone through, and we say that all organization and all individual even for success, there are 3 box theory. First box is how efficient you are to run the organization with the core competency presently, that is important. Another is the how efficient or how able you are to drop something which is unnecessary. Okay, traditionally it is being done, okay, and that is why I will be doing it. No, you should be able to do it. And number 3, there are a lot of weak signal coming from the third box, from the future. Are you in position to decipher it, that which will be taking place in future, and doing the investment now? That is also one of the very important things, that how efficiently you can see the future. Then very interesting, a few more. Then the creative problem solving, this is also one of the important skill, right? Then calculated and pitch potential value, I said ROI, right? I am introducing something energy saving initiative, or what is the ROI? Will the money come back or not? Will there be any saving in it's also very important. Then basic data skill, collect the data, you should be able to collect it, analyze it, and then to report it, very important. Last but not least is the effective communication. What you speak to your higher management, what you speak to your peers, to your staff, to your society, right? It should be convincing. So these are some of the qualities I found that are required for the topic skill for sustainable development, environment, and green job. Thank you.
Well said in a very precise manner. 1 minute to continue if you have anything to add. Also, Arpit, nothing is there. So we come to the end of this session. This is a very vast topic. What we have given you, tip of the iceberg. But as the iceberg slowly melt down, you will come to know what all you have to do. Today, actually, this generation of young people don't like too much of preaching. So we're not going for the preaching. We're just trying to share our thoughts, okay? I look at your generation as problem solvers, and therefore, whatever problems we created in the past, you guys have to face those things and take the world forward. But at the same time, don't say that you are alone. We are always with you, right? We are also trying to rectify ourselves. We are trying to do good things, whatever possible. Everybody from our generation, they're trying to do something good, do some like modifications in the processes and products. So basically, if you tell me in one sentence that what is a skill job, there is no such fixed definition for a skill job. Skill is required everywhere. Everywhere skill is required, right? One ship which got stuck up on the shore was not starting. 2, 3 very big captains of the ship and very veteran people came, engineers came, they started to start the ship. It was stranded for a long time. Finally someone said, there is an 80-year-old man in a village. Long back he was a mistri, Kalachi, 4th grade stuff in a ship. He might be knowing what is the problem. So he was called. And then after going there, he gave some tap here, tap there, took some small screwdriver, etc. From his pocket, he took out a small nut and bolt and he fixed it up. After that, he said to the captain, "Captain, start your ship now." And the ship started. Everybody's shocked. Big degree holders and experienced people, they failed. And this grade 4 staffer, he succeeded. He went home and sent a bill to the ship company. The bill was for $1,000. $1 cost of the nut and bolt, $9.99 for the knowledge and experience. That's the story. So, this era, our Prime Minister has been telling every time, this era belongs not to physics, not to chemistry, not to life science, not to biotech. All these things are told, nah? 19th century belonged to Einstein and this belonged to that. No, this is a, he rightly mentioned, collect data, look at data and go for that. So, availability of data, knowledge, wisdom, everything taken to roll down together will make you a better person, because you should always remember, Encyclopedia Britannica, 25 volumes can be transmitted by a high Wi-Fi or high internet connectivity 25 times in 1 minute. Knowledge, that is knowledge, but wisdom is not like that. It has to come from within. You culture it regularly and regularly. So with the very best for your future. On behalf of the panel, I wish all the students the very best. Organizers, thanks for inviting us.
So there is a question here.
Oh.
Sir, if you allow, sir, good evening, sir. This is Anuja Gupta, and if you allow, sir, may I ask you a question, sir? It's
Yes.
not a question, but it's
Observation.
not. It's related to our daily life. So first of all, thank you for such a wonderful discussion, and it is much needed discussion actually. Sir, my question is to Khataniar, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you said that first we have to survive. So survival is the first thing that has to be in our mind. And you talked about green buildings, you talked about the COP summits. But sir, as a consultant to GMDA, sir, do you think that this flyovers at the cost of means cutting the trees? I live in Zoo Road, and in the evening life is miserable to go out in the roads because we have to cover our face because of this dust pollution. And sir, I think you can also observe that the pollution that it is this year was never seen in Guwahati before.
So I request Dr. B. Kalyan Chakravarti, IS Principal Secretary to the Government of Assam and the Program Chair to please come onto the stage, and we would like to thank our dear panelists who have been discussing about skills for sustainability. Can I call Dr. Arub Mishra to please come ahead and take a memento from sir. Dr. Arub Mishra, Chairman, Assam State Pollution Control Board. Can I further call upon Shri Arpit Sharma, Chief Operating Officer, Skill Council for Green Jobs. Can I also call Mr. J. N. Khataniar, Chairman, CII IGBC Northeast Chapter. call upon Shri Utpal Barua, CAO, Guwahati International Airport Limited. I request all the panelists to come ahead for a group picture. So please come ahead for group pictures.